Okay, welcome back to the third lesson in part 3. In today's lesson, I will tell you something about code node. So far, every node we've used has been visual and declarative. Okay? We configure the inputs, we define the behaviors through options and connect nodes together. For most workflows, that's enough, right? That's enough. However, as systems grow more complex, become more engineering, there are situations where visual configuration alone cannot express the exact logic we need. For example, if you were gonna transform some nested JSON structures and we're gonna merging multiple fields into a new format, we're gonna calculating dynamic values, though these are not reputation problems, okay? They're logic problems, and this is where the code node becomes useful. Okay, now we can move on to the code node. Okay, so how can you open this? You can click this plus sign, go to the transform, can click the code. Okay, then you'll see something like this. Input variables, and you'll see an area that you can put a Python language here or Java language, and also the output variables. Okay, so let me first give you what the code node can do. Okay, so usually in an engineering project, the code node can do two things. The first is algorithms. Okay, the first is algorithms. So you can put your algorithms code in this node, and then when the input comes in, it will process this code and give an output. Then you can use this output to process the following part. Okay, so this is where we put the algorithms. And the second is format transformation. So for example, in front of the code node, you get a format like string, okay, a string. But actually, after the code node, maybe you want to connect it with a iteration. But you know the iteration only accepts the array, the list, right? So what you can do here is in this code node, you can put the code to transform the string into an array. So that is what we call the format transformation. And I'll give you the detailed examples in the following parts, okay? So now I want just let you know that code nodes can do two things, algorithms and format transformation. And for the code node, first of all, you will see input variables. This is where you put a name, and this is where you assign the variables. And in the right hand side, here in this place you can put your code. Okay, you can put your code, and here you can also assign your variables names, output variables name and its type. Okay, you can also turn on the retry on failure. This is the retries count, retries intervals. Okay, and just pay attention to it. If you are not good at programming, or even you do not know how to program, you can click this sign, this star sign, and you can put your actions here, such as I want to transform the string to for example just array. Then it will give you some code. Okay, it will give you some code. Okay, so remember, for this code generation, you can choose the model that is good at writing code. Okay, that is good at writing code, such as Gemini 3 Pro or GPT-5. Okay, you can choose those models you want. Okay, so that is for the code nodes. And let me give you an example to see how it works in a real project. So just the project in our last lecture, in the iteration. Okay, so you just remember that before the iteration node we have 25 titles comes in, and in the iteration node, for each iteration, the input here should be just one title, and it should be a string, right? It should be a string. Okay, a title and a string. And after it, we see a title cleaner. That is what we put the title here, and we're gonna do some processings to these titles, and we're gonna get a clean titles after this node. Okay, so this is what we call the algorithms. We give it a title and we give it an algorithms, then it will output a clean title. Okay, so that is what we said when code node is used as an algorithms executor. And the second is what we said, the code node can also be used as a format transformer. Okay, you will see here, this is also a code node. Okay, and we name it toJSON. Okay, you see, before this node, the output of this plugin is actually a string. You see, the output is a string, right? And what we are going to do here is to transform the string into an array, because the iteration node only accepts array, right? So what we do here is to transform this array into the string into an array, right? So this step is what we call the format transformer. Okay, we can also ask the GPT to write it. Okay, so I hope you have understand these two things. Okay, so that is a code node. It gives us precise control when visual nodes are not enough. But as workflows grow, the real challenge becomes managing outputs across different branches. That's where the variable aggregator comes in. In the next lesson, we'll see how to bring multiple results back together in a clean and structured way. See you in the next video.